Sorry about that. Some technical difficulties. We're going to get Xavier on very shortly. We'll get him on. Some internet. I think a lot of people are on right now. What's up, Jordan? Jordan's an amazing dancer. I'm putting her on the spot. She's got a dance business. We'll get Xavier on real quick. Nikki, why don't you get in the comments and give a question. Nino Nation, baby. Opening day tomorrow. Opening day tomorrow. Yeah, me too. I do like his question. Love the interview. That's awesome. Yeah, I agree. I'm waiting for it. Let's see. Hold on one second. There he is. Nikki, we'll come on. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Man, I'm sorry, bro.
No, you're good.
I don't know where we left off. There's so much gold you were spitting just now. But a lot of people were asking some great questions. I don't know if that's something you're open to doing.
Yeah, definitely.
Gary asked questions. Asked about Gary. Let's go. Basically, what he was asking. There you go. He was asking, how do you stay during this time? It's actually a great question. I'm basically summing up what he was asking. Like, how do you stay fresh during this time? Because obviously with the corona and the pandemic, which I know we're all getting sick of even talking about, but it's a reality. Like, what are you doing to stay fresh, not just physically, but mentally to come back to the game? Because at some point, you very well may get a call. I mean, you're definitely in the running for that. So what are you doing mentally? Not just physically, obviously hitting and throwing, but there's obviously something different about you that got you to the big league level. It's not just talent. I mean, you're beyond talented. You had that mental edge. If I'm not mistaken, you had that mental edge. What are you doing in this time right now to stay like mentally sharp? With all the noise and blocking out all that noise.
Yeah. So much is going on right now, and like you said, it's so important to stay mentally sharp. I think the biggest thing for me is and I think a lot of kids can do this too, is go back and look at some of the video that you have, some of the video that you've had over the past year, and figure out ways that you can get better. For me, I always try to go back and look at bats, try to see where I struggled. Same thing with defense. What do I need to do to get better at that? And just go game by game, writing little notes to yourself. Because sometimes when we're in the moment, we don't really feel, we don't really know sometimes what's going wrong. But if we go back and look at what we did and say, oh man, that now I can see it. Now I see where I'm pulling off the ball, or now I see where I'm not getting that first step on defense. So if I have a parent that can film me or that has filmed me in the past, then I can see some of those things that I need to adjust. And if I have a coach like you, I can bring the video to and say, hey, coach, what does this look like? What can I do physically to get this better? And then also another thing that I think players can do, especially young players, look at YouTube and figure out, okay, my favorite player is Giancarlo Stanton. Let me go see what he's doing before the game. What's his routine look like? What are some things that I can do in the cage? What are some things I can do defensively? If I like Colton Wong as a second baseman, what's he doing? Gold glove player. What's he doing defensively? We have so much technology now to where you almost can see everybody's routine, almost in the
So
weight
true.
room, defense, offense, base running. So those are the things that I feel like are two huge things that we could be doing to get better, that don't really cause any physical, actual movement, but just almost visualizing, writing things down, writing your goals down, the things you want to get better at.
So great. So great. You're so true. I mean, I'm 28 years old. Um, I know when I was playing, YouTube was just starting to kind of become popular, and obviously
Yeah.
now it's like part of our life, our lives. But I don't think kids do it enough, to be honest. I don't think kids do it enough. And I'm
No,
glad you brought that up. I think they got to do it more. I mean, great stuff on Instagram, but sometimes it's just scroll, scroll, scroll. Are you actually sitting down and watching a routine, like you said, of Giancarlo Stanton? Are you watching a routine of Ichiro or whoever?
exactly, exactly.
Ant asks, what do you think about when you're in the batter's box? What do you think about?
That's a great question. For me, every player is going to be different, but for me, I go back to what we were talking about earlier, trying to drive something right back up the middle. Get a pitch in the middle of the zone. Plate discipline is so important to me, especially even young players. Like learn the strike zone, learn what you're swinging at. So I want to get a ball in the middle of the plate that I can do damage with. Anywhere a little bit outside, a little bit inside, I'm not going to do the same damage as if I get one in the middle. And if I'm looking in the middle, I can adjust to inside and outside better. So that's my thought process when I'm at the plate. I'm just trying to stay middle, trying to look middle, and drive something.
It's just a way for you, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's a way for you to stay center. It's a way for you to stay center because basically in your turning, everything else is middle, right, center, right? I mean, is that
Exactly.
kind of your thought process there?
Exactly. Exactly.
It's
And you're
great.
staying in
It's great.
the big part of the field. I'm just gonna plug my phone in right here.
I love it. Xavier, I got one or two more questions. I don't know if you have time to do that.
Yeah, definitely.
I appreciate the time you're giving us. I know it's 9 o'clock and I know it's Friday night.
No,
Uh,
you're good.
this is
You're
a
good.
great question from Chris.
Chris.
Oh, here it is. We got it. What would you have what would you have rather known as a youth player than learn later in your career? What I think what he's trying to say is like, what do you know now that you would have liked to have known as a youth ball player? I'm assuming that's kind of where he's going with it.
Yeah, definitely. Man, that you don't have to be perfect. Like I feel like a lot of times the parents today and the kids today they're trying to be perfect. Like we're gonna fail so much. Like you're gonna fail so much in your whole career that it's okay. Find a way to learn from those failures. We were kind of talking about watching the video. Like whatever I did, I went over 4. Don't okay. You have a little bit after the game. You can sulk a little bit. You can be upset, but figure out what you did wrong so you can go back tomorrow and be better. The good thing about baseball is we play so many games. So you can always have a chance to get better. You have practice. Okay, I struggled yesterday. I got practice coming up, maybe tomorrow, the day after. What do I need to do to get better to where I don't make those same mistakes? You're not going to be perfect. Parents remember this too. Sometimes we have those goggles on our kids like we have to have them be perfect. We Johnny's got to do this, he's got to do that. Remember, he's just a kid too. He has time to grow, he's got time to get better. And and another thing too is like there's so much failure along the way that you're going to learn from that it's only going to make you better. So just continue. I want players to know that failure is going to make them better. It sucks in the moment, but it always makes you better in the long run. And I wish that's what I knew so much more because then I wouldn't be so hard on myself.
I hear you, bro. I think that's where it goes. I have another person, a friend of mine, owner of the top trivia company basically in the United States, a little trivia night. He's got a great business, but he asked, like, I think this plays into what he's asking is, how do you overcome in the, a bad at bat or not your best at bat in the big leagues, like the mental side? Like, I guess that kind of plays into it. I guess they're pretty similar.
Yeah.
Um, but is that kind of, I mean, I would say that's kind of the same mindset even at the highest level, or maybe you have another way of explaining it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely. I, I think a couple of different things come along with that is remembering that all the work that you put in beforehand doesn't necessarily mean it's going to translate that day. It's you can continue with the process. Everybody talks about the process, like, yeah, the process, but that sucks during the day when you go 0 for 4. But if you can remember that over a longer period of time, we have average for a reason. We have on base percentage for a reason. We have slugging percentage for a reason, because one day it could suck, one day it could be good, but over a longer period of time, it's going to be right where you want it to be, as long as you've taken care of the business beforehand. Whether that be in the weight room, whether that be, training, whether that be mobility, to know that I've done the process in the off season or even during the season, I can take solace in the fact that, okay, if I go 0 for 4, that's not going to be me tomorrow. That's going to happen. I'm going to fail. We're creatures in baseball. We're 3 out of 10 at bats, we get a hit. That's good. But failing 7 times, we got to look at it like, oh, that's still good. So just taking solace in the fact that I've done the work, I've done the process. Today is a new day from the last day, and it's not going to mean I'm going to do the same thing tomorrow. So understanding that the failure is going to come no matter what.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Have you heard of Steve Springer?
Yes,
Mental. So
I
you
actually
sound
did
just
not.
like him. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it. I mean, yeah, but you got it on the money. It's unbelievable. So, um, anything else you'd love to add? I mean, I appreciate you just giving us this time. It's crazy. I mean, the one thing that I say, like what you say, the definition of failure, I think I tell my young students, is failure hitting a missile at the shortstop, kind of like with the whole Steve Springer mindset. Like if you smoke a ball to dead center on a line, how is that failure? You know, if you
Right.
do that more often than not, you're going to have quote unquote success. But I would equate success, and this is me talking as a um, youth baseball coach, professional, that is success. And ultimately, it'll correct itself. But if you have that mindset, I feel like maybe that ultimately could help you mentally. What actually is success? Like for you, what is success? Like besides getting a hit, like what is your success in your head as a ball player?
I tell guys this all the time. Success to me is finding a way, even if it's the smallest way, to get better, one day at a time. I got it. For some reason, if it's mental, if it's physical, spiritual, whatever it may be, I got to be better than I did yesterday. You know, because I went 3 for 3 today and I went 0 for 4 yesterday, that doesn't mean I got better. Did I fix something? Did I figure out what a weakness was and then I make an adjustment? That's success. You know what I'm saying? 3 bloopers is not going to do me any good, if I'm not actually getting better. So that's for success for me, is finding a way to get better every day. And I would just like to say, like, I appreciate what you're doing for these kids, for everybody, giving them a taste of not just the physical, but the mental kind of thought process behind it. And for you to also mention about failure, changing your mentality, that's a huge step in the right direction. I think if kids, amateurs, professionals are able to understand, okay, let me change the way that I look at failure. Let me change the way that I look at success. Don't compare your success or your failure to someone else's. It comes within your own goals and it comes within your own accomplishments. So that's
Spitting
that's
fire right now. Spitting fire right now.
no, that's it. But I'm glad that that's something that you mentioned, because I think that's important for these kids. So I appreciate you.
Well, listen, I appreciate you, and I really appreciate you giving me this time. And where can we find you? Where can we find you
Yeah, yeah. You can
besides
find me.
Instagram?
You can find me on Twitter as well. Same thing. Xaiver_Scruggs. I'll put some stuff up there. A lot of mental stuff. Same thing with my Instagram. Would love for you guys to. I'm sorry, for my website. Love for you guys to check out my website, xoathletes.com. Again, xoathletes.com. I do personal mentorship with kids on the whole mental side of the game. I tell these parents, hey, don't pay these clubs, don't pay these personal trainers 3,000, 4,000 some odd dollars unless their mind is not right. You know what I'm saying? Unless you have somebody that they're going to, like you, who's going to talk about the mental side just as much as the physical side. So that's what I love to offer for these kids. It's fun for me. Again, that's exoathletes.com. I have a virtual program going on right now, not only with me, but my network as well. Multiple other players joining in. So it's fun for me.
Fantastic. And you know what? Hopefully, I mean, you're a class act. Hopefully, and I know we should probably be saying this off the air, but as a business to businessman, I'd love to collaborate one day with you. Maybe you could speak to some of my parents and we could bring you in. I mean, that would be virtually even, just it'd be fantastic. But I really appreciate you. You're a class act, and I really appreciate your time. Thanks so much. Really.
No, appreciate you, man. Hey, let's do it again.